So what we're looking at, this is the evaporator on your refrigerator. Now, depending on your refrigerator, you might have two of those. You may have one in the freezer and one in the fresh food section. On this unit, it is on a side-by-side. Two doors, freezer on the left, refrigerator on the right. Now, if you look at that evaporator, it is not covered over, and all you have is just a tiny bit of frosting on the top. And that means that the refrigerator is not utilizing the refrigerant because the system is either too low or there is a leak in the system. So at this point, you don't have a lot of choices other than maybe get it repaired, as in a sealed system gets very costly. So shortly in the back, we will offer a little trick to see if we can unclog the restriction. But all you have is just a little bit of frost up top. Sometimes you'll have, it's called a ball of death, which is basically just one big lump. And that basically means you have a restriction. It's a low charge or you have a leak in the system. So it's going to be really high temperature in the freezer and also in the refrigerator. So pay attention to that. Shortly you'll see a video where I fast forward it and you will basically see the refrigerant, how it moves from point A to point B, and the whole evaporator should be nice, white and frosty, tiny bit of frost. So it's coming up. What we're doing now, we're in the back and we're checking for compressor, we're checking for heat, we are checking to make sure that the compressor is pumping, which normally if you have frost, even a tiny bit of frost like you saw, that means the compressor is doing its job, the compressor is pumping, it's doing what it's supposed to do. The problem is the refrigerant is either lacking or you have a restriction. So what we're doing here, we're actually agitating the dryer, which is like a filter, and sometimes you can clear the restriction and the unit might start to work again. Might. So here's a video of how the frost pattern should look. It's being fast forward, and this is what your evaporator should look like when the unit is up and running for at least a few minutes, maybe 20, 30 minutes. And it should all be frosted from the left, upper left, all the way down. So if your unit is not looking like that, if you have maybe a lump of ice in one corner, that's an indicator that your system might have a restriction or a low charge. Now, a low charge or a restriction in a system, it is a sealed system issue and it is a costly repair. So chances are you need a new refrigerator. So take the back cover off and take a look at that. That might actually help you to at least decide whether or not you should call a technician to repair your refrigerator. This is a good working evaporator. You can see it's fully frosted, and that's the way it's supposed to look when all is working. Now, sometimes you might have a fully frozen evaporator, which is iced over. You may say over freezing. That's not the same thing as this. So if you do have the frozen section, then you need to basically get it defrosted and figure out how to get the defrost system working again. But that's not a bad thing. That's an easily fixed unit. In fact, you can actually unplug the unit and let it thaw, and your unit will be working again temporarily until you get it fixed. Now, the fix for a frozen over evaporator might be a bad heater, a bad thermistor, Could be a bad thermostat, could be a bad board, could be a bad timer. So basically you're going to have to open it up and do some testing until you can determine what the issue is to get it fixed. Even a clogged drain can give you a frozen or over freezing evaporator. All right, guys, that covers that. Hopefully this helps. Thanks for watching.